ESPN has dropped their annual list listing the best 30 wrestlers under the age of 30. And even though I saw who number one is already in Dominik Mysterio, I have not seen the rest of this list. So I want to go ahead and do a live reaction and see, are they spot on or are they not? All right, let's kick it off with the number one mention on this list. At the number one spot is Dominik Mysterio. So first of all, congratulations to Dominik Mysterio, because last year he was also number one. So he is keeping that trajectory of his career sky high. We all know that Dominik Mysterio has had a massive improvement throughout the couple of years. And as a person who posts video content on here, whenever I post anything Dominik Mysterio related, I always see higher numbers than a lot of other people on the WWE roster. So it's safe to say that Dominik Mysterio does pique a lot of people's interest. But on top of that, he did have some pretty cool moments throughout the year, including winning that Intercontinental Championship, that really awesome WrestleMania match. I think my only criticism so far is that, hey, we need to see more matches for Dominik Mysterio defending that Intercontinental Championship. But other than that, he's gotten very popular also with the Mexican audience through WWE's acquisition of Triple A. So we have definitely seen Dominik continue to elevate his career in pro wrestling. So I 100% get why ESPN put Dominik Mysterio at number one. Also, I completely forgot that he is only 28 years old. So the fact that he's probably going to be on this list for the next few years at number one to come if he keeps this trajectory going. Plus, we are also just a couple of days away from him facing John Cena. So I feel like so far Dominik Mysterio's career is going pretty well for himself, especially because not a lot of people thought, including myself, that he would get to the peaks that he has gotten to in WWE. Now let's go ahead and check out who number two is. All right, number two is Kyle Fletcher. Okay, I gotta tell you, Kyle Fletcher at number two is kind of surprising to me, but not for the reasons that you think. Kyle Fletcher being an AEW talent, I'm going to be real with you. I kind of thought that they would sort of favor WWE a little bit more due to their partnership with ESPN. And I know that ESPN has stated that they weren't going to do that, but you know, some people say and then they don't and then they do. So I just didn't know if they would rank some AEW people sky high. As a person who covers AEW on a weekly basis, I say this a million times, Kyle Fletcher is the shit. He is so awesome. He's probably going to be like one of the ones on this list that I would say would probably be the strongest wrestler. Of course, I haven't seen the full list yet, but Kyle Fletcher, I think, through his wrestling skills is probably what landed him at the very, very top. Ever since he won the TNT Championship, he has been just like nonstop, really great matches. A match that he had with Dustin Rhodes earlier this year at Collision is probably one of my favorite matches that I've seen of his, on top of the work that he did with Will Ospreay in that steel cage match at Revolution, amongst other moments, including going up against Hangman Page. I think Kyle Fletcher has proven himself to be a future big star. Plus, he's also gotten really good in terms of his look, has been extremely polished with the pink gear, and he's also really gotten down these promos and has started to like grow in that regard. So I do think that Kyle Fletcher being ranked pretty high on this list feels very, very spot on. Now let's go ahead and check out also, I keep forgetting these people's ages. God, I didn't even realize Kyle Fletcher was 26. And last year he was number 8. So that's a really good boost for him. All right, number 3 is Rhea Ripley. Okay, so I'm not surprised by this. It's just that it's interesting, her ranking. Again, I really thought that ESPN was going to lean heavier on the WWE side. So seeing Rhea Ripley ranked below Kyle Fletcher, it's interesting because this list kind of really doesn't make too much sense. And I'll explain to you why. Rhea Ripley is a really, really great wrestler. And she's a big mainstream star too. Like, she is really getting there. Like, so many big celebrities have constantly been mentioning Rhea Ripley's name. She's all over. She's everywhere on Hot Topic, etc. Right? So I actually thought, given the way that they ranked Dominik Mysterio above Kyle Fletcher, I would have thought that they would have also ranked Rhea Ripley over Kyle Fletcher based off of how I'm looking at how they're deciding who goes where. So I think that part's very interesting. But Rhea Ripley, we all know, is going to be a star for like the next several years to come. And I do see bigger things in the future for Rhea Ripley aside just from WWE. I truly believe that Rhea Ripley will be she'll be like The Rock and John Cena and Dave Bautista, who like go on to like do movies and do cool things because of her look, because of her physique, and because she's so talented. So I do see, it's crazy to think that she's only 29 and she's already amassed so much success. All right, let's keep it moving. Number 4 is MJF. MJF has had a fantastic year because right now I was just saying that Rhea Ripley is somebody that I can see moving into like the movie space. But if there's anybody on AEW who's going to move into the wrestling space, to the movie space in Hollywood, it is MJF. And he's pretty much already doing that. He was literally in Happy Gilmore too. And bro, like, that movie did really, really good. And I know people are going to be like, oh, well, his part wasn't that big. But no, he was like consistently in the film as one of the sons. So like, he had multiple parts in this movie. He even had more scenes than Becky Lynch, who was also in it. So you got to give kudos to MJF for that, for landing that kind of role in that kind of film. And given that it's one of his biggest projects that he's ever done, and he's only 29 years old, is crazy. So I love seeing MJF moving in the direction that he's moving in his career, and seeing ESPN acknowledge that. Last year he was ranked at number 2. I'm surprised that he got knocked down a couple of pegs, given again his performance on Happy Gilmore, as well as some other upcoming projects that MJF has. I probably wouldn't have even ranked him that low, but I think what probably knocked him down a couple of pegs though is that this really wasn't like the strongest wrestling year for MJF. Like, he did have some good matches, some good moments, but I do think he's had stronger wrestling years in the past. So I think that's part of the reason why he was a little bit lower on this list. And next up is Tiffany Stratton at, of course, just the age of 26. Last year, she was at number 18, and now she's at number 5. We need to give kudos to Tiffany Stratton because she had an awesome reign as women's champion. I loved her reign as champion. I thought she defended it a decent amount. Of course, I'm always the person that's going to be like, I want to see more matches, because that's just what I do. But I do think that Tiffany Stratton is, like, for example, like, people care about her. People are interested in her. I've done nearly 100 interviews this year. And of all of the interviews that I published this year, the top 2 most viewed interviews are of Tiffany Stratton. Number 1, Tiffany Stratton and Ludwig Kaiser. Number 2, Tiffany Stratton by herself. So what I'm saying is Tiffany Stratton is also a draw, and I do think she's going to continue to do big things. I can see Tiffany Stratton kind of doing more on the, how do I explain this? More on like the commercial side. I can see her doing commercials because of the way she looks, of everything that she brings to the table. I think she can do that. So I think number 5 is a really good spot for Tiffany Stratton. All right, number 6 is Bron Breakker. Another really big year for him too. Also went up on this list from last year. He's only 28 years old. Crazy, man. These kids, man, they're so young. Yes, I'm older than Bron Breakker. Isn't that crazy? Maybe it's not. I don't know. All right, Bron Breakker. Anyways, so Bron, okay, he joined the Vision. That was really the biggest thing that happened for him this year. A lot of really good matches, great moments that went viral when he speared ISHO Speed. He's somebody that we know is on a high trajectory, so his spot here makes sense here. Number 7 is Blake Monroe, 27 years old. She went down a couple of notches here, but I think that's just due to the stiff competition. Blake Monroe also has had a phenomenal year, a phenomenal last couple of years, because she has gotten to the top so freaking fast. She worked her way up from the indies to, to working in Japan, to going to AEW, to having one of the best feuds in AEW history, to now being in WWE. She's a champion there. She's also somebody that she got her first 5-star match this year when she wrestled Toni Storm in the Hollywood Ending. So she's someone that knows what she wants, and she's working her way towards it. Like, her career path, I think, is a career path of dreams, where she is doing the work and she is seeing her rewards come back to her. If Blake Monroe is someone who is heavy manifesting, like heavy at that, at manifesting, girl, we need to take a page out of your playbook. So I think this is a good spot for Blake Monroe. Number 8 is Obafemi at 27 years old. This has also been a really strong year for Oba. Oba, who was the NXT champion for like a great amount of time. And he grew in popularity with the fans, which is very important. We've gotten to see him on the mic. He's been doing very good there. The only thing that I think has hurt Obafemi, I would say, is the lack of challengers. I think if he did have more challengers on NXT, we would be talking about him even 10 times more. But I love to see Obafemi on this list at number 8. Now, my baby girl, Roxanne Perez. Oh, I love Roxanne. She's only 24 years old, of course, the prodigy. She has been, we have been seeing her now for several years. It feels like this woman has had an entire career, and she's only 24 years old. Someone that, of course, we're going to be seeing in the near future. In the next couple of years, main event WrestleMania. She's going to be having those collection of matches with all of the top women that we're going to consider her in a couple of years one of the GOATs, along the names of, Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, Bailey. Roxanne Perez is going to be on that list. I have no doubt in my mind. So I just want to see her continue working. I think she's a great in-ring performer. Sometimes I even think she's underrated. And I think once Liv Morgan comes back and I see her work with Liv Morgan, I do think when she gets that really big storyline on the main roster, that it's just going to continue to get even better for Roxanne Perez. Alrighty, next up we got Leon Slater. Wow, I'm surprised they ranked Leon. Oh, and I'm seeing it now. Leon got ranked above Javon Evans. I was about to say, I'm surprised they ranked Leon Slater above Javon Evans. They are both phenomenal wrestlers, but I guess I understand why they ranked Leon above Javon, and that was because he became the youngest X Division champion. So it actually does make sense to me that he would be ranked above him slightly, because you can argue it. You can argue this because Javon Evans, who's at number 11, has had an incredible amount of like really cool profile, like high profile moments, right? Like, even though Leon got that rub from AJ Styles, Javon has gotten it from Randy Orton. He's gotten it from The Undertaker. Like, he's gotten it from so many people. And both of these guys are sort of like neck and neck of like really phenomenal wrestlers. And these are guys that if they get the chance to like really go, I really truly believe that these are going to be guys that are going to start collecting like massive, amazing 5-star matches left and right, because those guys really, really do have that potential. Leon Slater, I hope that whenever he's done with TNA, I hope that WWE realizes what they've got in him, because I truly believe that Leon Slater, if he was in AEW, he fits so perfectly there. If he was in AEW, bro, let me just say, that dude, AEW world champion, just like, well, not just like that, because you got to work, right? But, it eventually happened for sure. So I do hope that WWE knows what they've got in Leon Slater, even though he's not technically with them. He's with TNA, but with WWE's partnership with TNA, sometimes it feels like WWE is handling TNA, even though they're not. But hey, y'all know the drill. Anyways, so yeah, that was pretty fun to see this ranking. Number 12, Elijo Del Vikingo. Last year he was at number 13, so he went up a notch. 28 years old. This was an interesting year for Vikingo, because he kind of, was being booed a lot by the Mexican fans. It it was definitely a different kind of reaction for Vikingo and everything that has gone down as of late with the WWE and AAA partnership. But Evil Del Vikingo is still a phenomenal wrestler. You cannot take that away from him. We got number 10, Kiyomiya. Kaito Kiyomiya, excuse me. So I got to be honest with you guys, I haven't been able to see as much of him. Unfortunately, with my coverage of AEW and WWE, I tend to miss the boat on a lot of other stuff that's going on outside. Someone burst me out of this WWE bubble because I am stuck in it. I am stuck in this damn bubble. But congratulations to him at number 13. We got Gabe Kidd at number 14. I did get to watch a little bit of his work this year. Of course, the work that he did with Kenny Omega. That one was probably like the biggest thing that I got to see him do this year. And then the couple of appearances he made on AEW, can't really say too much about those. It was primarily that one match, so I can't even say too much about it because I also haven't been able to see anything else besides that. Lyra Valkyria at number 15. Lyra, she's just been she doesn't have bad matches. Let me just say, this girl knows how to work. The work that she's done with Bayley and Becky Lynch and Io Sky has been so good. Inaugural Intercontinental Champion. This girl's gonna keep climbing. She's a really good wrestler, and WWE recognizes that. All right, number 16 is Sari. She's someone that I've heard a lot of fans talk about. We talked about her a little bit, not that much, over on the PWI 250 women's list. And also, I do want to get a lot more familiar with her, as well as the number 17th, who is Saya Kamitani, also on the Stardom side. I hate that I can't offer as much description as I usually do for that. Máscara Dorada 2.0, 24 years old. Last year's rank was at number 19, now up at number 18. Máscara Dorada has been killing it. All of the matches that I've gotten to see, I would have probably even put him even a lot higher on this list, but that's just me. I get that this list is very jam-packed. Soruka at number 19, I think she would have been a lot higher on this list if they actually had her defend that NXT North American Women's Championship. She had such a banger of a victory winning that title, but I do think that NXT dropped the ball with not having her really defend that championship. Then she got the Speed Championship, and then suddenly it all became about the Speed Championship that no one really cares about. So I think had they actually had her wrestle a little bit more, and then unfortunately she was kind of hurt for a little bit, but then she came back and had a really awesome match with Blake Monroe. I'm also totally over her partnership with Zarya. They need to wrap that up, which they are. They're getting there. It's taken a long time. But I do think some of those calls that they have made on NXT sort of hurt Soruka a little bit. But hey, last year she wasn't even ranked. And this time she is ranked. Alrighty, number 20 is Jordynne Grace. This is another interesting one. Jordynne, last year's rank was 16 and she went down to 20. So that's kind of a little bit of a drop there for Jordynne. However, I completely understand this because given Jordynne Grace, how she came into WWE, I think a lot of us thought that her trajectory by now would have been a lot higher. I think she has spent way too much time on NXT. This woman should have been on the main roster from the very beginning. I know she chose to go to NXT, and that's fine and dandy. But truth be told, I think her potential has been held back a little bit by her not being on the main roster. This woman needs to be on SmackDown. She needs to be working with the very best, and we need to see her with the very best because that to me is what feels a little bit more natural to Jordynne Grace. Alrighty. And number 21 is Daniel Garcia. He's with the Death Riders. He's been having like decent matches here and there. I'm not a big fan of the Death Riders, but I do like Daniel Garcia individually. So I do think him being on this list is rightfully so. Jack Perry. I think that if Jack Perry would have came here back to AEW a little bit sooner, he would have been ranked above Daniel Garcia. But because he was gone for such a long time, I understand this placement of him on the card. But a really incredible wrestler. Happy he's back with Luchasaurus. Hook is one that I think AEW kind of really didn't know what to do with him for a very long time. He started his AEW career with a ton of buzz, and it felt like it dwindled very, very fast. So I understand his ranking on this list too. I'm curious to see who's ranked below these guys, considering that Jack Perry was gone for most of the year. Hook hadn't really done anything. So whoever's below them is interesting. All right, Megan Bayne. Megan Bayne just got to AEW. She's just getting the ball rolling. She has a phenomenal look. They're doing something with her, so that's good. Starlight Kid, I haven't gotten to see too much of, but he's 24 years old. He's got plenty of time. Kevin Knight. Okay, so this is where I think they got this wrong. Kevin Knight should be all the way, I'm going to say, he should be above. He should be right after Jordan and right after Jordan and before Daniel Garcia. You could even argue that he could be above Jordan because Kevin Knight has had a really nice breakout year in AEW. He's actually had a lot of matches, singles and tag team, and he's one that I think is he's so good, so talented. He makes what he does in the ring look so easy. I actually think he should be ranked a lot higher on this list, considering the work that he's done and some of the other names that are above him. I think Kevin Knight has had a stronger year than a couple of those names. 27 is Axiom. I also think he should be ranked a little higher. I would have put him over a couple of other people as well because I would have definitely put him over like Hook, Daniel Garcia, because I do think that Axiom has also had a really great year. He's somebody that I'm surprised he wasn't even ranked last year. Him and Nathan Frazier have just been like, damn, they go so fast. If you've seen them wrestle, you know exactly what I'm trying to describe here. I actually think Axiom should have been ranked a lot higher on this list. And I think if they kind of get things going back with them again and having more matches and whatnot, I think that eventually he'll be a lot higher. That one's interesting, I got to tell you. Kalani Jordan also ranked this low. Oh, no. Oh, they got this one wrong, too. What the hell? No, Kalani Jordan definitely needs to be a lot higher. She's been consistent on NXT. She's had consistently great matches. The work that she did with Soruka, amongst pretty much every other woman. Like, this girl does not have bad matches. And she's held gold, NXT North American Championship. Obviously, now she's a Knockouts Championship. No, Kalani should be higher for sure. I do think she'll be higher next year if she keeps going on the trajectory she's going on. All right, and then we got Shota Umino at number 29. I've heard a lot of good things about Shota. It's interesting, though, kind of just seeing where he was at last year and where he's at this year. Then we also have Atlantis Jr. Oh, I love Atlantis Jr. Happy to see him here on this list as well and getting recognized. That is the 30 for 30 ranking. A pretty interesting list. There were some that I thought made sense, and there were others where I was like, what? This doesn't really make that much sense. But at the end of the day, these folks are all under 30 years old. They got their worlds at their feet. Go ahead and let me know what you guys thought of this list in the comment section below. And thank you guys so much as always for watching. If you enjoyed this video, do not forget to subscribe to the channel for more daily pro wrestling content. See you guys on the next one. Bye, everyone.